Number 4 for me was Tomorrowland.
Aww.
I just lost the audience. Like, what?
Who are you?
Didn't fucking put The Martian, but you put Tomorrowland? This is how I like my space movies, kids. Made up. None of this shit's real. Touch a pin,
science.
Touch a pin and go to space.
There's hope, not science.
Yeah, and sometimes there's not hope either. If you talk to House, House gets in the movie and gives a monologue where you're like, boy, we are fucked up as a species.
Thanks, House.
I love this movie. I saw it. I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on a plane. And some people suggested that's why I liked it. Like, dude, you trapped on a plane for 5 fucking hours. You gotta like it. And, maybe once, not twice, 3 times. I've seen it like 4 fucking times. Really fun flick. Different movie. I've not quite seen this film before. 2 central performances by female leads are exquisite. George Clooney is, let me see, more than welcome. I mean, is that really a fucking more than welcome?
I like you, Clooney. You can stick around.
Well, he doesn't. He's not the star. Like they make you think like he's the star, and he's definitely in it. But he's more of a supporting character. Yeah, it's not his movie, but he's welcome when he's in. You're like, oh my god, I fucking love George Clooney. Brad Bird, man, director. Brad Bird directed, the director of The Incredibles, and this movie, like everything Brad Bird does, very distinctive, its own beast. It didn't click with audiences, didn't work at the box office for some reason. But this is a movie for makers, for creative people. And I'm not saying if you're not creative, you won't get it. But if you're like an artist, this movie like fucking screams at you to be watched. And if you're an optimist or a humanist, movies, it's right up your alley as well. I can't really describe it without making it sound bad, but trust me, it's worth the ride. Just strap in. If you're not digging it by the hour mark, bail. But it's totally worth watching, man. And I felt bad for Brad Bird, man. This movie's so good. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
So good. And like a lot of people were like, fuck him and fuck this Clooney picture. But they didn't get it. Like, or, maybe they got it and they just didn't appreciate it. All this shit's subjective. But I was moved by this movie. I cried watching this movie each time.
It's one of those things where, and we talked about it before in the podcast, where if this was like 20 years ago, this was a movie that you would, like Princess Bride, which is fantastic, that you would eventually come to on video. You would discover it, and it would just live for years and years and years as somebody's favorite movie.
I wonder if this movie will have that life. They don't really even seem to like cop to it at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Despite
I looked
the fact
around
that they have
for
a
merch.
Tomorrowland.
They have a Tomorrowland, so I was like, hey, maybe they got some merch. But they're just kind of like, yeah, that happened. They should put it loud and proud. I thought it was a really fun flick, really heartwarming flick. And it's a movie full of unrealistic notions and shit, but it's got an insane heart. Like it's full of fucking heart, man. Some shit achieves on will or on skill. This movie achieves on will. And it's skillfully made, but the will of this movie, man. If it doesn't win you over, you might be one of the robots in the movie there. I said it.
Well, yeah, it's a movie for dreamers.
Very good. A movie for dreamers about robots. It's kind of what it's about.
The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Yes. And here, it's about a little boy who falls in love with a robot. It's kind of what the movie's about.
It's like Ex Machina.
A little bit.
Way different.
My God, Mark, you're so smart. These are the same movies. Tomorrowland and Ex Machina are the same movie. It's about a little boy who grows up to fuck a robot. It's amazing. I saw Tomorrowland. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I saw you tweeting about it.
For like a couple times. I fucking loved it, dude. And some people are beating the shit out of me online going like, you fucking idiot. You're too stoned. I think that movie works on some people who have a real dreamer, creator vibe to them. Like I love that movie. I think it's wonderful. I've now seen it 4 times on fucking planes. Going back and forth across the country. And I'm sure that's not the ideal setting that the filmmaker wants you to watch it in, but fuck does it work on me, man. It makes me fucking cry, like in a good way, like feel the dreams kind of way and shit. People online like, yeah, it made me cry too. It's fucking boring. I want my money back. None of that. I was in. Dude, it was like the opening fucking scenes alone, where the kid, like, he presents a rocket pack at the World Fair to this contest, he's hoping to win a few bucks or whatever the fuck. And, the guy, and it's, what's his name? House, who I love from Veep.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. And, he's just like, what is it? What does it do? And he's like, kid's like, it's a jetpack. And he's just like, all right, but how would this benefit, the world? And he's like, it's fun. And he's like, well, it's got to be more than fun. And he's like, the kid goes, anything's possible. And Hugh Laurie's like, excuse me? And he goes, if I looked up and I saw a kid flying around a jetpack, I would think anything was possible. Mm-hmm. That movie had me right fucking there. Like, oh my God, grabbed me by the fucking nuts and fucking, oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. And all performances across the boards, beautiful. Great acting across the boards. Different movie than I've ever seen before. I don't know what people wanted. Like maybe some people said they felt preached to. I've seen that on Twitter. They're like, too fucking preachy. I loved it. So good.
A really good friend of mine I worked with at EW, a guy named Jeff Jensen.
He fucking had a hand in it. I know Jensen. He used to interview me back in the day.
He was the Lost guy. He was Doc Jensen on EW for like 4 years and did these massive deep dives into Lost.
So he knew Lindelof.
The Lost recaps, and like he would just go fucking hardcore in it, like digging out all the literature references. And here's the part in Watchmen where the blue, and like he was that guy,
right?
And he got to know Lindelof, and they just started talking. And Lindelof was like, "Listen, I need a guy who's really good at research and has a heart, who can kind of dig into Disney history and like pull out all of this stuff, and let's build this world." And so he and Jeff worked on it for years and years. And, and I don't feel weird talking about this because Jeff was very, very public about this while it was going on, but his wife passed away. She had cancer.
Fuck, really?
And so the year his wife dies is the year Tomorrowland comes out. And so the weird, like the highs of I wrote my first movie. It's going into theaters. George Clooney is in it, like Disney, massive $250 million movie. Brad Bird is directing it. Yeah. And the like having to stitch what's left of his life together and like raise 3 kids. And
I was going to say he's got kids.
Yeah. And so I could not have been happier for that guy.
Yeah.
Because like if anybody needed a fucking win.
It was him.
It was him. And I mean, it's a beautiful movie. And it's an optimistic movie. And it's like, it's that thing. I remember Neil deGrasse Tyson also talking about how we feel about the future. And in the 50s and 60s, you would see these magazine articles like Time, the building of tomorrow, the car of tomorrow, the city of tomorrow, the whatever. And we had a space program and we went to the moon and everybody felt like you could do anything. And then those magazine articles stopped and we stopped going to the moon. And we stopped dreaming, as a culture. We stopped dreaming as a people. Like, what's possible? Well, we got smaller phones. I guess my TV is flat. Like, that's cool. Like, we made convenience a priority as opposed to, can we go to Mars? And I remember when we fucking landed on Mars, when Curiosity landed, and the internet at the same time was watching this fucking thing. I was like, we forgot how to do this. Like, we forgot how to care that we could do a thing that we couldn't do yesterday.
And we have robots now, and we don't even give a shit.
Yeah, like, there's artificial intelligence, by and large. Yeah. Like, I mean, we're hastening our own demise. Clearly, we are inventing Skynet bit by bit, and it's going to happen.
We were shown the way by a movie.
Yeah.
Like, well, the path is written.
Like, I guess we have to now, right?
She said it. Lady said, future's written, I believe. Jim Cameron was like, there's just some shit to say. I took it from Harlan Ellison.
Your fate is not what you make for yourself.
That is, Mark, fucking, God, so beautiful. Very rare on a podcast Kevin Smith's on. Do you ever hear Kevin Smith go silent? But I was like, sing it, dude, sing it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like, and that's what that movie is.
That's what that movie very much is about. Like, he says it right in the beginning. George Clooney is really like, they opened them. I watched the movie. I don't know if they opened it this way because they had a test screening. People were like, what the fuck's going on? And Clooney don't happen for a half hour, so you better put him in the first few seconds. So they do a kind of opening device, which pays off at the end of the movie and stuff. But as he's kind of addressing camera and addressing the audience, and you're hearing this off-camera voice, this girl who's like coaching him through the storytelling for the opening of the movie. And she's like, tell him about the future. And he's like, well, when I was young, the future looked different. And they cut to the World's Fair, 1964, in Flushing. It was Flushing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Flushing Meadows.
The
Men in Black site.
Yes, I know. That's what I was looking at, going, holy shit. And also Iron Man 2, the Stark Expo site. And also now in this movie, they take you back to when it happened. It's beautiful, dude. Like, it looks like it's going on. I mean, we are in the world of digital effects, and they put, that's where It's a Small World debuted at the 1964 World's Fair. So that plays a part. Like, I'm telling you, how this movie didn't do better with just the fucking Disney nerds.
Yeah.
Because if what you're saying is true, and he sent Jensen, like, I need you to dig deep. He dug deep. There are deep cuts in this fucking thing. But it didn't pop for most of the world. No. It apparently lost a bunch of money. It's very expensive or something.
I mean, I feel like that's the kind of movie that
I'm glad it exists.
Like 20 years ago would be like Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Would like open and underperform at the theaters, and who gives a shit, because over the next 25 years, it'll have this life on video and become everybody's favorite movie.
Right.
I don't know if that'll happen for this, but, I feel like it could.
Yeah,
I feel like
it'll have an uphill battle making its loop back because it was apparently fucking damn pricey.
Yeah, but ultimately, like there's going to be somebody for whom that's their favorite movie.
Yeah, and I think Disney shouldn't like sweat this. Like, take the write down. Like, you made more than enough on like fucking Avengers, Ant-Man.
You bought fucking Marvel and Star Wars
and fucking
you're fine.
Inside Out. Like, they printed money all summer. It's okay to take a loss on this because this was worth the fucking trip. And it didn't pop for everybody, but I'm telling you, man, for the people that it hits really hard. And that's worth doing.
It's so hard to make a $250 million movie. That is somebody's favorite movie.
Is that how much a movie costs?
With marketing and all that bullshit. But
I mean, all right, now let me rein it in a little.
But
maybe say it for a little less. Holy shit! But $250 million.
Avengers: Age of Ultron will be nobody's favorite movie.
You're absolutely right.
It'll be a movie that people like, and plenty of people did.
Cool scenes.
This was cool. I had a good time.
At the end, and there were moments where I got glassy eyed because it's Vision of the Scarlet Witch. I thought of my youth and stuff, but that was not the movie so much as the movie reminds me of this.
Right.
Whereas the moments in Tomorrowland where I'm fucking balling, the thing is, they couldn't have marketed this movie. I defy anybody. Harvey Weinstein, 1994, Harvey Weinstein, at the height of his fucking witch's powers, could not market this movie.
English patient.
Yes.
Crying game, you got it.
Exactly. The man who fucking, don't tell the secret. There's no way he could have cracked this code. This movie is impossible to impart to anybody. But here, I'll try, and this ain't going to do it. It's the story of a little boy who falls in love with a robot. That ain't even the movie. But that is so much the fucking movie. But how do you sell it? They don't make them like this anymore. I feel like an old man saying it, but fuck, dude, it really swung. And I feel it fucking hit a ball. I feel like it swung for the fences and then got a top shelf slap shot. You know what I'm saying? It left the park and went to a different sport and scored, and it won't get the points in this sport because people are like, well, that's not how it's done. But I'm like, but you should award points for how genius that move. But they won't. So go check it out, man. While you get a chance. I had no idea. I'm so happy to hear the Jeff Jensen stuff. Yeah. Sad to hear about his wife, but so happy to hear about the
sweetest fucking guy. And
nice dude. I talked to him many times over the years and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So we got off track. Incredibles 2. Brad Bird made Tomorrowland, which should be hitting home video any minute. Fucking just see it. See it at home. Get high and watch it. I know it's a kids movie, but fuck that. Get baked and watch it. You will thank me for it. It's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, it's funny. I took my son to see it, and he was like, "Daddy, that was weird."
Did he like it or no? I don't know if it's a kids movie.
He didn't have the right frame of reference for it. So much of the movies that he watched are kind of blah. And so it's that's weird.
It was more for us. It was an
totally
adult children's story.
Yeah. But it is the movie for dads to take their kids to and be like, "Hey, you can dream."
Yeah.
Not for kids who don't want to be told they can dream. It's for dads to be like, come on, buddy.
I think most kids would be like, I dream of a more interesting movie, Dad. And it's well, fuck you. This is about heart. It's got so much heart.
I dream of hair on my balls. Are there hair on my balls yet? Is the movie about hair on my balls? No? Fuck it.
Oh my God. There's so much cool shit in it. There's so much the fucking interactivity with the giant robots and just there's so much. And it's like being in, I don't know if this was the intended effect, but it's like going on a Disney ride where you are craning your neck all over the fucking joint because it never stops and it just keeps moving. And there's so many interesting things and threads to look at, but then, you got to move on. So you take it again and take it again. Mm-hmm. There's so much going on in this movie. So many tiny stories, so many big stories, so many wonderful performance moments. I really enjoy him as a director of actors. Yeah. I could tell he's boots on the ground, Say it like this. Like there are so many line readings, not in a shitty way, but you could, because he's getting great shit out of these kids in the movie. And you could tell with some of them, man, they give readings that are like, well, I came from an adult. And that could, not no acting coach, that came from the maestro himself. Guy who gave us Iron Giant, I could suck this dude's called that. Iron Giant, Incredibles, Ratatouille, dude.
Yeah.
But check out Tomorrowland because it is breathtaking.